Hey y'all, I am looking so beautiful. Let's do it. Okay, so today I will be showing you guys my current fiction reading list for work. If you haven't already seen my Duke Press book haul, that's currently what I'm reading in terms of theory. And then what I'm reading in terms of fiction, and both are for my research and my PhD. And what I'm reading for fiction is what we're going to cover today. So right now I'm doing like a big deep dive into Zimbabwean literary history, and when I first found out about the Girakukundi, hold on. My Shona is not up to scratch, so please don't throw stones at me. I only know the phrase, Iwe Ivapano, and that means you disappear. And I know that because I have a best friend who is Zimbabwean, and I would hear her say that to her little sister all the time. I'm even looking in the wrong book. This is the book. Guys, this book, oh, man. It's actually kind of hard for me to talk about right now because I'm having a lot of feelings and I'm in the middle of it right now. But for the sake of sanity, let me just find the Gukurahundi. So the Gukurahundi is a fucking genocide, okay? That happened in Zimbabwe after Mugabe came into power. I had no idea this was even a thing until I was fucking 25 years old in a PhD program at Duke University, okay? And I grew up in South Africa. Zimbabwe is my fucking geographic neighbor, and I didn't know this. Anyway, after I find out, I call my dad, and I'm like, Dad, did you know there was a whole ethnic cleansing in Zimbabwe? And he goes, yeah, I did. And then I was like, Dad, why didn't you tell me? And he goes, I didn't think you'd be interested. Parents. Anyway, so now that I know about that, it's still wild. It's still wild for me, but anyway. So after finding that out, Zimbabwe became a huge place for me to study my literature. Now, I kind of touch on other Southern African countries, but like South Africa and Zimbabwe are, kind of where the beating heart of my research lies. And so Sunyati, this is her first foray into historical fiction. Now, her fiction in general, so Gold Diggers and Family Affair, it always kind of like touches on the historic and the political. But this one is its most explicit, where she's intentionally weaving in, the longer history and story of Zimbabwe. And you can tell that she has done her research into this book. She's included a further reading list, which is actually genuinely helpful to me, and I think for anyone who honestly wants to learn more about Zimbabwean history. And she includes a historical timeline, right? So when it comes to this book, our girl is not playing. She said, sit down, I'm gonna educate you children. I am educating the kids. And educate she did. As you can tell, I'm literally I have 60 more pages left. I'm almost done with this book. And I don't know, I think say is Angel's process of discovering she's Black is one of the most psychologically relatable descriptions of when one day you realize you're Black in a way that's painful. So I can't say too much about this book because I think it's just literally too close right now, and I feel too like subsumed in it to be able to like give, I don't know, I guess a fair or objective opinion. But this book is excellent, top-notch writing, and is such a great introduction into, one, it's brilliant storytelling. She keeps her overall theme of like this biblical intertextuality that she has that I absolutely love. She tells a really great story, really great character development, right, all the marks. But for me, the way that she weaves in history is like the cherry on top, because this is how I learn. This is how I learn history. Do I learn capital H history for my work? Yes. But this is how I really allow it becomes a true part of my person. So, incredible. Now, the next 3 books I have not read. I've picked them up because that's what's coming after I read An Angel's Demise. And so the one that's coming second is most likely going to be this. So this is House of Stone by Unovuyo Rosatsuma. And it is also a historical fiction account. So this is one of those books, I haven't read this copy. I had a copy of it, and then I think I left it in South Africa. But of the first copy, I read something like the first 100 pages. And from what I remember, this is where this is more like literary and story and character invested, whilst punctuations of history. History is the backbone of this book, like the absolute spinal cord of this book. And so this book, if you want a more personable introduction, An Angel's Demise is your book. If you want this kind of like, I mean, this book is psychologically fascinating. The lead character, the teenage son, it's not Zamani. Zamani is the most psychologically fucked character. Fucked in the head. It is fascinating to read. So I think this book is for anyone who's interested in historical fiction, anyone who's interested in Zimbabwean history, and anyone who's interested in like psychological realism. You're really going to get something really good out of this novel. I am going to read it like from scratch because I don't remember of it what I read. I just remember like there's no way I couldn't have a copy of it. I'm very excited for another deep dive into this. Very. Up next is Violet Bulawayo. If I understand correctly, that is her pen name, and this book is called Glory. And she takes her inspiration from George Orwell's Animal Farm. So I'm sure you guys either have seen the movie, read the book, or have heard of Animal Farm. But it basically tells the story of, is it the Soviet Union through animals? And so Uno Violet takes inspiration from that and does the same thing, but with Zimbabwean history. Now I have not read the book. And also this is so stunning. It is such a girl's book. Like the color print on the inside of the covers. I'm blown away at this particular edition. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now I know that Mugabe is represented as the horse. And I also know that the reason she did this is because she would have been censored if she just wrote about them as they are, this book would have been censored, because book censorship does not only happen in America, people. And so she literally made it a book about animals so that it would kind of skip past censorship. Right now, I don't know if any of kind of political officials have caught this and have banned it. I'm not sure yet. But the reason I'm really excited to read this is because, so this one is interested in the history of the political figures. So if this is interested in the political figures, this is interested in the history of the country, and then this is interested in the personable human individual perspective, right? So these three books all do very, very different things with regards to Zimbabwean history. And I'm excited, you guys. I'm very excited. So in summary, this is my Zimbabwean literary fiction, literary history read. I'm so excited. I'm probably going to do another follow-up video on these. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, please come back.